Before I move for my deliberation, at the outset, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Gautam Bashan, who organized a beautiful exhibition, photographic exhibition on Borobudur and Ankola in our gallery. I also like to thank Mr. Shubham Babu, who assisted in all the activities of Dr. Gautam Bashan. Actually, they are the instrumental factors in organizing this artistic photographic exhibition in our gallery. I hope you have already seen the photographs displayed in our first floor gallery, but I would also like to thank my colleagues, Srimati Shikha Roy, the curator, Mr. Ayman Huda, the exhibition officer, Mr. Roshanjit, who made the slides for me, Amrita, who also helped me in various ways, and Mr. Banerjee, S. Banerjee. They helped me quite a lot in preparing my lecture of today. Borobudur has been designated as the largest, the most beautiful, the crowning glory of the Mahayana Buddhism in Indonesia. This monument has caused a lot of headaches, both to the archaeologists and experts, and it continues to remain, even today, as a mystery in stone. We know Indonesia was for a long time under the Dutch rule. But curiously enough, for a short period of time, Indonesia came under the British. And it came under the British between 1811 and 1816 AD. And the Lieutenant Governor, Sir Thomas Stanford, learned the existence of Borobudur in 1814. A Dutch engineer, H.G. Cornelius, was commissioned to clean the debris and work out the ground plan and elevations of Borobudur. On 11 September 1815, Cornelius divulged the existence of a mystic and majestic complex of Borobudur to the Batavian Society of Arts. Discovered, naturally, people got interested on this monument, and a photographic project on Borobudur was undertaken in 1845. It took years, and one Mr. C. Lehmans edited and published the photographs on Borobudur in 1873. In 1892, Grumman published the first guide, and tried to identify the reliefs in the first gallery. Between 1900 and 1905, a committee was constituted to supervise the restoration of Borobudur, and the report of the committee was published in 1913. And then appeared a great archaeologist, N.G. Crome, and Van Arp. These two gentlemen worked out 3 volumes of archaeological reports, which were published in 1920 in Dutch language. So with this short introduction, I now straight go to Borobudur. What is Borobudur? People ask. In 1884, Kern, one of the greatest archaeologists in the Dutch country, turned Borobudur as representing Meru. James Ferguson, who worked on architecture for a long time, considered it as a dagob. Dagob is a Ceylonese term which has been derived from Dhatu Garfa, or the relic chamber. Then Van Arp and Crome describe it as a stupa. But very interesting introduction has been given by another scholar. His name is Paul Musch. Paul Musch, he found in this an architectural dualism. In profile, it represented a stupa, while internally it stood as representative of a prasada, a sacred vihara maybe. And in this connection, he referred 3 words: Samritti Satya, veiled truth, and the opaque screen, the avarana, and there are scenes of defilement, klesha, with which Borobudur was built up. Shivaramurthy, an Indian scholar, described it as Uddeshika Stupa, referential stupa. And my Dutch guru, under whom I studied, Dr. P.H. Pott, he called Borobudur a 3-dimensional Buddhist mandala. And lastly, Barnett Kempers, a great scholar in Indian and Indonesian art, who wrote a book on Nalanda sculptures as well, he declared this Borobudur as a mystery in stone. Now the second question comes, is Borobudur a Chandi? Now in Indonesian language, Chandi, the word Chandi has been used for denoting a temple. So is Borobudur a Chandi? Because the term Chandi is somewhere linked with the temple mausoleum or tomb temples erected over the ashes of the deceased kings. We have a number of references of Chandis, such as the temple of Tara at Kalashan, a small town in Java. It was considered as the commemorative temple, and it was dedicated to a queen called Tara, wife of Panangakaran. Similarly, a Durga temple at Loro Jangram represent the daughter of the king Ratuvaka, because this Princess Loro Jangram was very proud, and once she fell in love with an architect, and the architect was so much in love that he proposed to marry her. And Loro Jangram was very clever. She told that if you could build up a temple in one night, because the architect was Bandobast, he was a great architect, that if you can build up a temple in one night, then I will marry you. And he took the challenge. Bandobast took the challenge, and he was almost finishing the temple. Loro Jangram became very scared. So he did a foul game. He started pounding rice. Pounding rice is the symbolic of dawn. So Bandobast thought that it is already morning and I could not finish the temple. So he stopped making the temples. But later on, when he came to know that it was a foul play done by Loro Jangram, he cursed her to turn into stone. And the Durga image in Loro Jangram is actually the deified form of Loro Jangram. So this is a Chandi, real Chandi. And then there is also a king called Oerlanga, and he was deified as Vishnu. And there is a temple in Chandi Shingasari, it is called Chandi Shingasari, and the deity in the temple is a Buddhist deity called Prajna Paramita, but she was also deified Princess Kendides. Likewise, it is stated that Borobudur is also a Chandi, and it is a temple mausoleum of King Samaratunga of the Shailendra dynasty. And this was the remark by another archaeologist, Claire Holt, who told Borobudur, like other temples as I referred to you, is a Chandi. Now, why it is called Borobudur? Why this name was given? A Indonesian scholar, his name is Purvacharaka. Purvacharaka, he defined the word Borobudur. To him, the word Boro is a corrupt form of Biharo. Biharo, Bioro, and Boro. And to Stutar him, another archaeologist, Dutch archaeologist, Budur means a hill. So this is actually a vihara built on hill. Now, there is a very interesting thing to be referred to you is this, that generally it is stated that Borobudur was initially made by a Shailendra king whose name was Samaratunga. But actually he could not finish. He just initiated the architecture, and his wife, Pramodavardhini, his queen, whose face was like moon, whose walk was like a hangsha, whose voice was like a kalavink. Kalavink is like kakatua. And she was actually regarded the main person behind the erection of Borobudur. And Borobudur was made at a place called Kedu in central Java. And, from that place, there's a small village in Kedu called Maleng Kedu. It laid bare an inscription, inscriptions of the daughter of King Samaratunga. And in that inscription, it is stated that a word is very interesting. The inscription said that Bhumi Shambhara Bhudara. This word appears there. And this Bhumi Shambhara Bhudara means mountain of accumulation of virtues in 10 stages. And we know that if a person wants to become a Buddha, he has to become first a Bodhisattva. And to become a Bodhisattva, he has to cultivate 10 paramitas, Dashabhumiga. And the Borobudur represent symbolically a Dashabhumika Sutra. So, the word Sambara and Bhudara, which is there in that inscription, has been translated by scholars as the most sacred load-bearing hill. Now, in the inscription which we found at Kedu, there is also a hint for the date of this monument. It is stated in the inscription, Rasha Sagara